gets that.
What's good, everybody? Happy Thursday already. Remember that tomorrow the stock market is closed. It is Good Friday, so that is it for the month of March. The stock market wrapped everything up today with a little bit of Christmas tree type trading. We'll cover that in just a second. Just know that tomorrow the markets are closed. We will be closed as well. We take the stock market holidays off ourselves. If you have questions, if you're a client and you just want to catch up with some things, I'll be around, so don't be afraid to email me if you need something. Otherwise, we'll be back on Monday. Spring break also for my daughter, so she's going to go back to school. My wife's going to go back to work. It's going to be great. I will be able to focus again. So in the meantime, just really one thing. Tonight, if you're a client or not, you want to join us for a webinar we're going to do. It's online. Go to webinar.jazzwealth.com. It's right up here at the top. That is tonight. We're going to do it 2 times, once at 7, once at 9. Just real quick, 10-15 minutes maybe. We'll cover something a little bit more detailed than we normally do in the videos, but not like a long 2-hour class or anything. Maybe 15 minutes. Come hang out with me. I'll stick around and answer questions when we're done, but that's it. That's all I have for housekeeping today, so let's get started with the markets. Now, I want to cover what we call the Christmas tree market, and I'm going to change to the charts here. There we go. So you guys can see the charts on the screen now. If you're just watching for the first time, you've never seen anything like this before, every little blip, red or green, that you see on here represents one day. And so we're going all the way back to about this time last year. It's just one day at a time you're seeing on your screen. Now, this week what we saw was a lot of back and forth, red, green, red, green, red, green, and that's where we get the term Christmas tree market. So a lot of traders look at this and say, oh, Christmas tree market, they're not going to do anything. The volume was a little bit heavier today because it was the end. This is the end of the quarter, of course, because tomorrow's the holiday. So a little bit lighter, or a little bit heavier. But anyways, what does that tell you? What does that mean when you see a market in this Christmas tree type pattern? Really, the answer is complete and utter indecision, but from a period or from a standpoint of fear and greed at the same time. So let me explain. Going back here, all these months, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and so on, there is no concern in this market. There is no question about the market maybe dropping or continuing higher. Everyone was pretty much convinced the markets are heading higher. And so you see a stable and consistent uptrend. When you reach points of technical support, resistance, or technical areas that traders like to use, that's where we tend to get Christmas tree type trading. And we saw that back here the last time in February when the markets fell back to the 200-day moving average, whipping back and forth, more aggressive than we're seeing this time. But we're seeing that again this time. Now, what you have are people making major decisions that they think it's going to break down further, because as soon as we cross under this red line that you see on the chart, we will break down harder. If we manage to bounce away from it, of course, we bounce and things start to calm down. So right now you have people saying, oh no, we're going to break down and through this, and so they're making major decisions, shifting large sums of money. Well, today you just had people say, no, we're safe, everything's cool, and it will get better. So you have people shifting large sums of money, the greed side, pushing back into the market. They believe that this will not break. What happens is, if we do not move away from this rather quickly and get back to a normal moving market, then you're going to have people lose their patience. They're going to get a little concerned and go, oh no, I just put a lot of money into this, or I just started buying this and I'm not getting any move off of this 200 moving average. They'll start to bail out. That adds to the selling pressure, and in my opinion, I think we're going to break under this 200 moving average. In the short term here, I think it's going to be a little bit wild, so we'll get used to that. We'll talk about it as it happens, but that's why you see this Christmas tree market and in more of a wider range, meaning the highs and lows each day are so far apart. Yesterday, if you study the markets, that was a great example of a stock market completely undecided. So we will kind of track that as we go. I'm going to keep talking about it each day just so it kind of builds into your heads a little bit for those of you that are not familiar with how the stock markets work. Now, if we look over today, why was the market higher? Why did everything work well? Well, the banking stocks are also at the same part. Here's all the major banking stocks right on the 200-day moving average. Again, serious decisions being made with large sums of money. Today, everybody was bullish. That helps. But we know we need the tech space to bounce as well in order to see the stock market move higher. And it did. The tech space, actually almost across the board, the tech space did pretty good today. So with the banking stocks, the tech stocks moving higher, all seems to look good in the short term. So brief overview of the Christmas tree market. That's all I'll really say on that. We'll follow it day by day. Okay, let's talk about your individual investments. Almost every single investment that you guys have in your accounts with us was positive today, which is rare. That's not supposed to be like that unless you're one of the super duper aggressive people. But let's go through them. Energy. Yesterday we talked about energy moving down to the low of the range. And I'll just draw a couple lines here. I don't normally draw a lot of lines on charts, but we'll go like this. You can kind of see this has a series of highs and a series of lows. It's really directionless. There's not much going on here. Nobody is willing to make a major bullish decision or a major bearish decision. And because of that, yesterday we moved down to the lows. Today we're moving back towards the highs. It's a great day. It is the best performing sector in our portfolios. But, you know, this is just whipsawing back and forth. Nothing really crazy to say there. We will keep track of this, by the way, and hope that we move up and above this range. But for now, it's just kind of a quiet sector. Oil was up a little bit today. I think 1% on oil. Nothing special. Tech. Here's tech on the screens. Tech was doing really, really well today, up over 2%. So no complaints there. That again has had sort of a whipsaw. This image that you see here looks exactly like the Nasdaq 100. Here's the Nasdaq 100 for you, where we still have some room down to the 200 moving average. So you can see the disconnect between the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, mainly the tech stocks. So not bad there. I'm not going to go through all of them, but emerging markets did well. We talked about the stock market. Small cap, mid cap stocks did well, and some of the bonds in the shorter term, not so bad. Bond auction there took care of everything, so not bad. Here's where I'm a little concerned. I think the markets do probably sell off under the 200 moving average. I think that's going to be a topic for discussion next week. You'll see it in the headlines because when we pushed into these highs, I watched this market all day. I get the question a lot. How the hell do you make videos, answer my questions, take phone calls, and watch the market? I don't know. I just love doing it. But anyways, I watched the market all day, and here's what I watched. I'll go, well, you can't really see it on this screen, but so the idea was as the market pushed higher, yeah, it was consistent and everything, but look at the last 30 minutes or so. You had the S&P, the Nasdaq, you had the Dow, especially going into the close. They gave back a lot of those gains. You don't like to see that. Now, the financial stocks did the same. While it was still a positive day, and it will go on record as, yay, really strong, everything's good, look at that little hint there at the end of the day. Apple is a great example of that. Apple was plugging along doing well. They gave back everything in like the last half hour. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, here you go. Like less than a half an hour. A little more than a half an hour. End of the day, right? So every blip that you see on the screen here is 5 minutes worth of time. So the last 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, but you get what I'm saying. So you saw a lot of that across the board. Even some of the tech names, very strong on the day, but giving a lot of that back at the end of the day. That's what gives you the hint that people are not convinced that this is going to push off the 200 moving average. Could have just been the last day of the quarter, could have been the last day of the month. You know, I'm not saying I'm 100% right. It's just those little things tend to give you hints going forward. So we'll hope for a 3-day weekend. Here's an interesting stat for you. After a 3-day weekend, the market's only allowed to be closed for 3 days, right? It's only been closed for more than 3 days twice in history, but 9/11 was one of them. So after a 3-day holiday, we're going to have Friday, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, come back on Monday. 68% of the time, the stock market starts in the positive. And actually, if you go back 15 years, it's closer to 78% of the time that the market starts positive. So we could start positive on Monday. We'll see. That'll be really impressive to see if the markets start higher and start to give back little by little. We're going to pay close attention to that. So just know we're on it. If you're a long-term investor, nothing. You don't need to do anything. You need to take a look. I see Manny's question there. How do you prepare for something if the markets are going to fall? In the short term, we don't want to play that timing game. We want to sort of play the contribution game. And I know it sounds like I'm supposed to say that, but in the short term, this is supposed to be a discount. we're going to cheer for this to calmly fall. We don't want collapses. We don't want crashes. We want calm pullbacks where people are just sort of fearful of the markets. And then as we add to our investments and start buying more and more, well, that's a great discount, hopefully, over the long term. If you're close to retirement, yeah, we need to talk. Well, we've already talked if you're one of our customers, but if you're close to retirement, you need to be looking at this and saying, this is a different market. This is not a normal stock market move. We've seen some things that have never happened in history have already happened this year, and it seems to just be more and more stats doing that. So I'm going to move on to a couple stocks in the news, and then we'll wrap it up. Facebook, those shares were higher, 4.5%. The company said they're getting rid of the third-party tools that they use for their privacy, right? Like, there's still a lot going on with Facebook. This is sort of, the stock's been in the news every day since the data breach. Obviously, a severe discount. Some of you might like that. They're trying to make everybody feel like, look, you can keep using the platform. Everything's cool. Don't worry about us. We'll see what happens. Nike, 8-year extension with the NFL, so all the football players putting their jerseys on, going to have the little swoosh on there, and pretty cool, Michael Jordan's shoe brand going to be included in that as well. Not sure how that works. On our list there, you see, what is PVH? Do you guys know what PVH is? That's the stock symbol. It also happens to be the name of the company. Well, the stock was up just over 5% today. The company said, going forward, we expect nothing but strength, lots of good things. And the company, it's like Calvin Klein, not Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein. What's the other one? The fancy one. I don't buy their clothes. You see me, I wear softball shirts. Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and a couple other brands, warehouse brands, things like that. That's these guys. That's this company, PVH. So they announced earnings, did really well. They expect a lot of good things to go. If you're a chart person, you kind of look at this and say, wow, the market's a little bit crazy, but this thing's just plugging along. Not too much volatility. So those guys have kind of weathered the storm a little bit. What else? I'll go to Amazon last year. It did recover almost all of the trading sessions move yesterday. It did not recover all of the losses. Still, it recovered about half, we'll say. But President Trump just tweeting away. He's pissed at Amazon. He wants them to pay. So that's a developing story. I think if you're an Amazon investor, I would expect more volatility going forward. That's all I have for you. I want to keep this short. We have our webinar tonight. I want to, I don't know, take a nap or something. You know, I've got a little bit of time here. I don't have much on the schedule, so I'm going to go take a break. Spend some time with the little one. We're doing the class at 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern, webinar.jazzwealth.com if you want to register. I'll answer a few questions if you like. I've been scared of the market, but actually bought more Micron Tech because I'm sure this will pass. Well, you picked a really good, strong stock. MU is the symbol. That stock's been on fire. Not lately, I get it, but tech stocks have pulled back, so I understand that. Where can I invest? Anywhere you like. It depends on what you're investing for. If you want someone to help you with that, that's what we do at Jazz Wealth, but really anywhere. Crazy market can be summed up with this statement: this too shall pass. It might pass like a kidney stone, but it will pass. Yeah, that's true. Might hurt a little bit, but this happens, right? We're going to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly as we move along life, just knowing things recover. Time will heal all. We'll get there. What do you think about GoPro's latest move? Any chance of them recovering? Seems like nothing they do helps. I think what is his name? Shoot, I can't think of his name. The kid that runs GoPro. I think he's got to go, man. They just, nobody takes him seriously. You know, they're always messing with him. When he goes on TV, I wish I could think of his name. Nice, seems like a really nice guy. But nobody takes him seriously. When he has deadlines and things, it's like, whatever. It's like Elon Musk. And I don't know. I think it's a great company. I like what they're doing, but he's always trying to do things with the experience. And I'm not sure if they're an experienced company or they've made that clear yet. So I don't know, man. That's an interesting one. I would, like, you want to gamble on it? You play for a buyout. Somebody coming along and scooping them up. That would be the gamble. Dustin, how many years until you retire do you have your clients invest in less risky stocks? How many years until the clients retire do we have in less risky stocks? We actually a little bit of a sliding scale, but everybody's different, right? So some clients, they may be 35, they may be 30, and I go, look, you should be aggressive. I know the market's higher, but you should be aggressive. And they still say, no, 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 I want to be conservative. I'm not an aggressive type. So it really depends on the individual. I'll make my suggestion, but at the end of the day, we both have to be able to sleep at night because I don't want any calls from you not being able to sleep. All right, guys, join us tonight, webinar.jazzwealth.com. Even if you can't make it, register because we have an automated link going out so you can rewatch it at some point. No junk email or anything like that. We'll just send you the link to be able to watch it. So if you can't make it, that's cool. We'll send you the link afterwards, but it will only go out to those that registered and didn't actually come. So that's already set up. I don't know how to change that. So anyways, have a great day, everybody. We will not be here tomorrow. Remember, Friday closed. We will be out. See you guys again on Monday if you're not joining us tonight. And talk to you later.